What if your dad held the key to stories you've never heard, lessons you've never learned, and memories that shaped the man you think you know? What if there was a way to capture it all before it's too late? Imagine flipping through the pages of a book that isn't written by a famous author or a historical figure, but by your very own father. Now ask yourself, do you really know who your dad was before he became your dad? Today, we're diving deep into a powerful and deeply emotional book that isn't just a gift, it's a legacy. It's called Dad, I Want to Hear Your Story by Jeffrey Mason. And this isn't your typical bestseller. This is a guided journal, a memory keeper designed not just to be read, but to be written in. It invites fathers to share their lives in their own words. And what makes this book so compelling is not just the structure, but the soul behind it. Let's talk about what makes it so special, how it works, and the unforgettable stories that emerge when a dad picks up a pen and starts to remember. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll want to grab this book not just for your dad, but for your kids, for yourself. Now let's get into it. So who's behind this masterpiece? Jeffrey Mason is a retired attorney, father, and husband. He isn't a celebrity. He's not a self-help guru. He's a regular guy who understood something profound. That time slips away, that our fathers have incredible stories, and that too often they go untold. He created this journal as a gift to his own family, only to discover that families all over the world were craving the same thing: connection, memory, legacy. This book has now sold hundreds of thousands of copies, touching families across generations. And here's why. This journal doesn't just ask random questions, it asks the right ones. It guides fathers to reflect on their childhood, their dreams, their failures, their first job, their best memories, and even the moments they regret. It's divided into thoughtfully designed sections. Each prompt unlocks something new. It's not overwhelming. It's not complicated. It's personal. So let me walk you through 5 powerful themes that show just how impactful this book can be. Theme 1. Childhood Memories. This section brings your father's early years back to life. It asks him about the house he grew up in, the games he played, the school he attended. One man wrote about climbing trees in his backyard in the 1950s and pretending to be a pilot with his best friend Joe. He even drew a map of his old neighborhood. For his kids, this became more than just a story. It became a window into a world that no longer exists, and that's what makes it magical. Theme 2. Life Lessons and Hard-Earned Wisdom. The book asks, what was the hardest lesson you ever learned? And suddenly, dads who have been stoic their whole lives are pouring their hearts out. One father wrote about losing his first love in a car accident when he was 20. He'd never spoken of her before, not once. But through this journal, his kids learned about grief, strength, and how deeply he loved. That's the power of the right question. Theme 3. Career and Ambition. What did your dad want to be when he grew up? Was it what he ended up doing? One man wrote that he wanted to be an astronaut, but ended up working in construction. He said he thought he had failed until his son read that entry and said, "You built everything I ever played on, Dad. That's better than the moon." That moment, that reconnection, that is what this book is all about. Theme 4. Fatherhood Itself. This section is where dads reflect on becoming a parent. One entry simply said, "I was terrified. But when I held you, I cried." No flowery words, just raw truth. And the beauty of that simplicity is breathtaking. Another dad wrote about feeling guilty for missing his daughter's ballet recital because of work. He said writing it down helped him forgive himself and hoped that one day she would too. You don't read that in a card. You get that in this journal. Theme 5. Words of Love and Advice. This is the final stretch. The section where fathers are asked to pass on wisdom, to leave behind the kind of words we all crave when we're lost, confused, or just need to hear our dad's voice again. One father wrote, "If you ever feel like quitting, remember that your blood is mine, and I never quit." Another said, "You don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up." These aren't Instagram quotes. These are personal truths, etched in pen, for the people they love the most. And now, here's where it gets even more meaningful. This book becomes a conversation. Many families sit down with it together. Kids ask their dads to read their answers out loud. Some film the moment. Some cry. Some laugh. All remember. And that's the emotional heartbeat of this book. It isn't about making your dad a writer. It's about making him a storyteller. His own. In his own way. Even if he's never said these things before. Even if he's not good with words. Even if he thinks he has nothing to say. This book proves otherwise. Let's talk about one story that left a lasting impression on me. A father named Greg wrote about how he was bullied in junior high. He said he never told anyone. He used to walk home the long way just to avoid the boys who called him names. And then he wrote this: "I never told you to stand up for yourself because I wanted you to be better than me. But now I know that being quiet wasn't strength. It was fear, and I wish I had found my voice sooner." His son said he'd always thought his dad was the toughest man alive. After reading that, he said, "Dad, now I think you're the bravest." That's what this journal does. It redefines strength. It lets vulnerability speak. It turns silence into connection. Now, if you're watching this thinking, "My dad's not the writing type," trust me, that's the whole point. This book is for the dad who never writes. It's for the dad who thinks no one wants to hear his story. It's for the dad who has so much to say and never had the words. You hand him this book and it tells him, "You matter. Your story matters. And we want to know you not just as a provider or a protector, but as a person." So here's a question for you. What's one thing you wish you knew about your dad? Drop it in the comments. Because chances are someone else is wondering the same thing. And maybe your comment will be the spark that gets someone to finally ask. Here's how you can use this book. Step 1. Gift it on a birthday, Father's Day, or even just a random Sunday morning. No special reason needed. Step 2. Let him take his time. There's no deadline, no pressure, just encouragement. Step 3. Read it together, or wait until he's ready to share. Either way, what you'll receive is a treasure. And here's the part no one tells you. One day, this book might be all you have. When the voice is gone, when the chair is empty, when all that's left are memories, this book will hold them. In his handwriting, in his words, forever. Let's wrap this up with a simple truth. You can buy your dad tools, ties, or tech, but nothing compares to the gift of being known. And that's what, Dad, I Want to Hear Your Story gives you. A chance to know your father in ways you never imagined. A way to preserve the moments that made him who he is. And a path to understanding who you are because of him. So if you're ready to start a new kind of conversation with your dad, if you want to laugh, cry, and maybe rediscover the man behind the title Dad, then this book might just be the most meaningful gift you'll ever give. Don't wait. Time is fleeting. But stories? Stories last. And if you're still with me, tell me in the comments, what's one story your dad told you that you'll never forget? If you haven't heard it yet, what's one story you want to ask him? This is your moment to connect. This is your sign to reach out. And if this video touched you, share it with a sibling, a friend, or someone who still has the chance to ask. Because once the story is gone, it's gone. But if you capture it, it's forever. And if you loved this episode, bookmark this channel. Because in the next video, we're diving into the companion journal for moms. Yep, Mom, I Want to Hear Your Story is next. You don't want to miss it. So hit that like button, subscribe, and of course, bookmark this channel.